Okay. Let's see. What's up, everybody? Good afternoon. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. So they got a press conference coming up. Let me get the chat up here on the screen. I also wanted to take a look at, we have a few minutes. We could take a look at Nick the Hat on Twitter. He's been posting some updates today. This guy, as far as I know, Danelo still hasn't been caught. It's day 8. I can't believe we're still here. Day 8, man. What the hell is this? Oh, yeah, from last night. What in the world? Yeah, let me fix this real quick. My bad. We're on here last night. Left screen. And I want to take this away. Boom. There we go. Mason. So, yeah, he's been doing a little bit of lives today. I saw some interesting stuff that he posted with updates. Let me scroll down so I can read some of these to you guys. It's from yesterday. Okay. I'm told PSP isn't letting citizen journalists into the press conference. Not me, I'm not there anyway, but it's disturbing that they'd restrict access to a press conference to anyone amid a manhunt. I've got a special guest who will chime in live today to give some input on why this search has been proven difficult, but will surely come to an end. I have a feeling you'll like the guest. Which, by the way, with Ruby Frankie, I had an attorney email me. For those that have been following that story, an attorney emailed me, I think today or this morning. He's like, if you want to, I can come on your channel and talk about that case. So I might take him up on it. He's got on a bunch of different, I don't know, channels and news stations, I guess, giving commentary. Might be interesting. If you have any questions that you'd like me to ask the attorney, I'm going to come up with some of my own, but if you have some specific ones legally, that's the mother and the business partner that had these kids in a basement with locked up lacerations and yeah, stuff like that. So if you want that, let me know. Definitely shoot me an email. Let's see what else we got. So here's a special guest. Okay, so day 8. The search for Danelo Cavalcante continues, and the tension is palpable. This morning, a cargo train was halted alongside Route 1, according to residents, which that's pretty interesting. The thought that maybe he could be on one of those trains. 50 Shades of Blue, thank you so much for the 5 memberships. Amazing. Oh, yeah, D-Land, that would be so helpful. If you have some questions, yes, please. And you can DM them to me. That would be super, super helpful. I'm going to reply back to him today. From what I see in his catalog, he does like short videos. So maybe I can pre-record something with just direct questions. Can make a good video. Police helicopters circled above as law enforcement conducted a thorough search of the train, causing significant delays in the area. And so Teabag messaged me earlier today as well, and he said there was a lot of chopper activity. I'm going to see if I can pull up those as well when the press conference starts. Let's see here. We're doing good. Okay. What else do we got? Okay, we have some video clips too. Let me see if we can watch anything. He's live now.
Today is the day that they are really bringing in the manpower.
Yeah.
And it's sort of unprecedented. The law enforcement that I know working this, I've never seen an operation like this. They've never seen this Bortac team come to anything that they've worked on. And it's a very interesting elite group of agents that are specially trained, and they're primarily located in Texas. So these guys are with Customs and Border Patrol, but they assist law enforcement in high-risk situations that have a very dangerous, it could be very dangerous to the community. That's why they're here. And they also want to make sure that this guy doesn't cross into Delaware. We're only 5 minutes from Delaware and about 10 minutes, as I said before, from the president's Delaware home. So if he goes toward Delaware, that might be a problem for him regardless, given the security around the home of the president. But they don't want him to leave this area. They don't want him to go to Delaware. So they are really zeroing in with every single resource. And I hear choppers. I'm not sure if that's a news helicopter above us, but they're really gearing up, and this is the longest I've seen them gearing up for. I mean, they're unloading tractor trailers and they're getting ready for something. So we're gonna pull in right now, and if it loses, we'll be back in about 15 minutes, but I'll grab a video of it, okay? So we're gonna head in right now. Let's pull in, and if it cuts out, just be ready for it to cut out, just so you guys know.
Oh, I'm blocking the thing here, my bad.
And
so let me get his picture up
they
here.
were searching trains this morning, and then as you guys know, last night there was police activity. As we were getting ready to leave, a call came in from the command center. I got a text that said that there's going to be activity related to the investigation there. They didn't give me much information except we're responding, and it's in connection to the manhunt, and it was on Fairville Road in Chad's Ford. Now, we accidentally beat the police to the location, and if that's NBC, it's showing. Here's the command center.
Ooh.
Keep going. Don't slow down like that. And turn around. Like make a U-turn.
Let's see. Oh, there we go. There is a helicopter or something.
So you guys can see.
Yeah, there's a helicopter.
And that's the officers I'm talking about across the way.
Oh, here we go. Let's get this up on screen for you guys.
Did the service stay? Were you guys able to hear fine? Because if you were, we're gonna pull up and we're gonna park there for a second. Okay, so let's do that again. We're gonna make the left over the bridge again. So it worked. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we're gonna park up and we're gonna get a better shot. We just did a little loop, so we didn't raise any flags over there for them to ask us to leave, because we wanted to. If it didn't work, we were gonna come back and get a clip and then upload that to Twitter and then come to another scene. So since it worked, we're gonna make a left, do that little loop around Longwood Gardens once more and pull back in. And I'll be able to stand there for about 3 minutes to try to get as much as we can without any interference, obviously. But there are no police behind us guarding this area, and there are no road closed signs. So the road is not restricted, and I've been saying this for the past 7 days. We're not going to go in any restricted areas. Last night, when we responded to that potential, I don't know if it was a sighting, I don't know what it was. We beat the police there, so there was no perimeter, and that wasn't our intention. So we were gonna get out of the neighborhood, and that's when 3 state troopers pulled up to us, and they didn't know where they
Did he cut out?
were. They asked us if we knew how to get to 1217 Fairville. They obviously, I guess, don't have GPS, so they started driving off, and then more state troopers asked us again, do you guys know how to get to that location? And that's been a problem that we've been seeing for days, where there have been troopers that are so far away from this area that don't know where they are, and they have no clue about the neighborhood, that's why it's crucial to keep local law enforcement in the loop, which they did last night, but I'm not sure what happened at that location and if it panned out to be anything, but throughout the night, there were planes hovering around in circles for hours on end with helicopters. So it was very fluid.
So they have a new team out there, right? This is what he was talking about. He posted a description. I want to read this real quick. What is this called? Bortac. All right. So Bortac units require the following resources to operate, in addition to standard USBP training/equipment, tactical uniforms, high-risk armored response vehicles, mobile command center off-road vehicles, ATVs, GTVs, with required upgrades, lockboxes, road off-road tires, and suspension. And supposedly this team came from Texas, he said. Specialized equipment for Bortac, high-risk operations, precision weapon platforms, breaching equipment and supplies, night vision devices, and thermal imagers. They're bringing the crew, the specialists out there. Elizabeth Mayer, thank you so much for the memberships. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. Cajun Girl, thank you for the membership. Heather, thank you for gifting the membership as well. And annual training, certifications, courses, including the annual selection and certification course, required annual mission essential task list training, and a specialty program training, precision marksman, observers, breachers, and canines, specialty communications, satellite communications, equipment data plans, and wireless mesh networks. And they loaded. They're bringing in the big boys. Let me see. This press conference is about to start. have these people right here. Yesterday they started kind of late. So I'm gonna keep my eyes peeled for another one in case. We'll see if it actually starts. I'm gonna look around for more. So supposedly there's been more activity today as far as helicopters and police, and they brought in new. Oh, there was something I saw him say too earlier, Nick, that I thought was interesting. Let me see if I can find it before they start. No, I don't see it. So this guy's been going for an amazing 8 days. What I heard too, T-Bag was telling me that they've been circling around Longwood Gardens. So I don't know if they're thinking that maybe this guy is just sitting in the same spot. Maybe one of the plans is he stays kind of still or close in the area, and hopefully cops will keep expanding and away from him, you know, kind of hiding in plain sight. Maybe that, I don't know, maybe that's what they're thinking or what this guy's trying to do. Okay. Another fluff presser, I'm guessing. Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, I wonder what they're going to say. And the questions yesterday on the press conference are pretty hot. They came in kind of hot. Let's see here. What we got? Okay, here we go. They always slack in this news channel.
Thursday, August 31st, inmate Danelo Cavalcante escaped from the Chester County Prison.
1 second.
As an update, earlier today, we had a possible sighting of Cavalcante by a person in the vicinity of Longwood Gardens. A search of that area has been underway for the past few hours and continues at this time. Our search perimeter remains unchanged, with the exception that we have thoroughly searched the area around 2 elementary schools previously contained within the perimeter and have adjusted the perimeter to exclude both schools from the perimeter area. We've done this in an effort to minimize the impact on students and their families while we continue with our search efforts. The district attorney and I have an ongoing dialogue with school districts in the area and are committed to providing them the most up-to-date information so they can make informed decisions about school operations. I have told you all previously that we're utilizing hundreds of state, local, and federal law enforcement officers, canines, aviation assets, and various types of technology in an effort to keep the community safe and to bring this to as swift of a conclusion as possible. I'd like to provide the media and the public an opportunity for some insight of the scope of the operation that we've put in place. Following the press conference today, I'll provide you all details of how we can make that happen. As a reminder, we're asking the public's help by familiarizing themselves with the photograph and description of Cavalcante, to check security cameras they have, and to call us immediately if they believe they may have seen him. Again, we ask residents to please secure homes, outbuildings, and vehicles. Cavalcante has clearly already obtained some clothing and other unknown supplies, and we want to minimize any opportunity that he might have to get anything more. It is very important we keep the pressure on him as we continue this hunt. Cavalcante is considered extremely dangerous, and there is a reward of up to $20,000 offered for information leading to the capture of Cavalcante. Anyone with information is asked to call our tip line at 717-562-2987. 717-562-2987. I continue to thank the community for their support and for allowing us the latitude to do our jobs while they deal with what I know are extremely stressful circumstances. We appreciate you all more than you know. And I wanted to also, because we've had a number of inquiries, I mentioned an injury to one of our tactical dogs the other day, Loki.
Good dog.
And I wanted to provide you all just a brief update. He is doing well, has been released from the hospital earlier today, and is expected to make a full recovery and return to work within the next week. And with that, we will be happy to take any questions that you might have.
Can you provide some details of the Longwood Gardens event? We saw the helicopter drop very low right off the deck. and seemed to try to spread the underbrush.
So an individual reported that that he had seen someone matching that description, and he provided us a location that he had seen them running through that area, and so searchers have gone to that area. We're using people on foot. We have horses out there as well that are assisting
Horses
with
too?
the search,
People on
tactical teams, and of course the aviation assets that you mentioned.
How big is that area?
How close is this search to that trail camera location?
It's not very far from that location.
Which schools were removed from the search zone?
That was the Greenwood Elementary and Chadds Ford Elementary.
So how big is this radius now that we're looking at? I mean, initially it started within that 2-mile radius, then it moved to Longwood, then it was sort of
Yes.
east. Can you give us just an exact distance that you're searching over the entire
Yes,
footprint?
it's about an 8 to 10 square mile area that we're looking at right now. It's a couple of miles across, but the total mileage would be about 8 to 10 square miles.
Yeah,
Is there any
What is
validity?
the outside of it?
Is there any validity that he was actually at Walmart in East Marlboro Township? There was reported sightings there.
I'm aware of that report, and we do not believe that was him.
Do you have
And
a
given,
strategy?
and given the newly released footage yesterday of his escape, and he is so agile, has law enforcement been looking up in trees and foliage? Have you all been looking into stormwater management within these neighborhoods? And then also, have you been going door to door in various neighborhoods for welfare checks?
Yes, to all of those. It's been a very thorough search.
Harold, do you have a strategy for preventing him from escaping via the Brandy Line Creek, which runs all the way to the Delaware River?
We do.
Can you elaborate on that?
No.
Colonel, what time was the sighting near Longwood reported?
Just before noon.
Today.
Yes.
Colonel, do you still believe he's within this 8 to 10 mile perimeter that you've set out?
I have every reason to believe he is still within that perimeter. Yes, sir.
You can tell us why you have every reason to believe that.
We have had no sightings outside of that area. We have maintained as secure a perimeter as we possibly could. And then as recently as today, we have another reported sighting.
What are the current sides of your perimeter?
So it is bordered on the north by 926, on the east by 100 or Creek Road, on the south by Hillendale, and on the west by 52.
Colonel, how much bigger is this perimeter today than, say, last Friday?
It is larger. I couldn't tell you what the difference in size is, though, off the top of my head.
But this is the same as yesterday, right?
It is.
Colonel, is there any evidence that he has obtained a weapon? Anything new on that?
I do not have any evidence to that effect, sir.
With the mushroom
I'm sorry, just
festival returning this weekend?
I'm sorry, just a minute, ma'am.
You mentioned the heat. We obviously know it had an effect on the canine officer. Is there any truth that the heat may have impacted thermal cameras at the prison that may have been heated or could not have been working at the time the Cavalcante escaped?
I couldn't speak to what effect anything would have on the cameras at the prison.
Can you talk about the effect on the? Can you talk about the effect on the law enforcement members on the ground when you working through the day?
Oh, it makes it very challenging. Certainly all of you have been out in this weather, high temperatures, high humidity. They're wearing, uniforms with bullet-resistant vests, carrying a lot of equipment. It certainly adds to the challenge. With that said, I have not heard a single complaint, and I believe our people are up to the task. But
Do they get some break time, cool down time, water breaks?
if someone needs it, we absolutely get them some rest. But typically, what we've been doing is we're transporting fluids, food, those kinds of things to sustain them and keep them well hydrated out to their locations. I'm sorry, ma'am.
Yes, thank you so much. Two questions here. The Mushroom Festival returns for the 28th year in Kennett Square, which is a couple miles from East Marlboro, Longwood Gardens. The Mushroom Festival will return as planned. Our law enforcement, state agencies, federal agencies working very closely with local police to ensure that the escapee will not go towards the borough, because some people are planning not to attend this year due to the escaped convict, even though he has not been spotted there. So any thoughts on that?
Well, we're working very hard to capture the escaped convict and not allow him to go anywhere. But along with that, yes, we are well aware of that festival, And we are working with authorities, a number of authorities, law enforcement, emergency management, and so forth, to try and make sure that people feel very safe at that festival.
Yeah, and last question, in terms of how technology has changed from 1999 when Norman Johnson escaped, he was here for about 3 weeks in Chester County, again back in 1999. How has technology changed that is supporting your efforts to find him? Any thoughts on that?
As with your cell phone, it's changed dramatically in that amount of time, and so we take advantage of some of the latest state-of-the-art options that are available. And so, when I've mentioned here before, we use a wide array of technology. We have a number of federal partners here with us that I've talked about previously. All of the assets of all of our agencies are brought to bear.
If Mud Creek Road is the eastern perimeter, how did you decide to remove Chatsworth Elementary School from the search area?
We carved it out by putting additional officers around there. We cleared that property and then put officers around it so that we could carve that piece out.
The property at the school?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Colonel, as you know, another prisoner escaped earlier this year from Warren County.
Yes.
And was found some days later hiding out in the woods. So it seems like there's sort of a parallel to be drawn here between the two different types of manhunts. I'm wondering if you have any thoughts on how that situation compares to the search now, and if there are sort of differences between the two that explain challenges or experiences here.
You know, and those are two of the more recent, this one and that are two of the more recent examples that we've had. There are similarities between any situation for a manhunt like this. So we try to learn something from each of those incidents that we handle, take from that how to run a smoother operation. Our partners, in many cases, are the same. In fact, some of the people that are here from the federal agencies are some of the same teams and resources. I was
Good
on
evening.
the County.
I'm Dana.
Sorry.
So there's some of the same resources.
Use clip
Again,
play.
all of us take lessons learned from it. We adapt those to the different circumstances we find. And, you know, there are different challenges with every particular search. If we moved 20 miles down the road, there would perhaps be some different challenges than what we have here. We would adjust to those. Yes, sir.
There's been some speculation at the meeting that the heat-seeking technology, thermal imaging technology that we use, is not working because it's so hot. Is that correct? Is all the technology we're using in that regard working the way it should because of the heat?
It is.
There's no
Weather can
effect.
weather can certainly have an impact on it, but it does not take that technology out of the game at all. At times, to use the example of thermal imaging, you can get some additional hot spots, rocks, different things like that can cause a hot spot, but it requires you to check a few more things, but it does not diminish our desire to use it.
Lieutenant, are you concerned that he is growing more desperate and yet more dangerous the time that he spends out in this weather and being hunted by you?
I believe he becomes more desperate. I believe he has always been very dangerous, and I've said that from the start. He's already murdered 2 people, one in Brazil and one here, in a very brutal manner. He's a very dangerous individual, and he remains so.
But now, is this the eighth confirmed sighting, or are there more? And can you kind of walk us through those 8? Because it seems like he's going back and forth, or are we out of order on the sighting numbers?
I don't have all of those other sightings here in front of me, but I can get that for you, and we can talk about it another time. But yes,
But 8 is correct?
Yes, sir, it would be 8.
What about homes? We know you've checked some homes before. Are you going back and rechecking homes? And if nobody's home, what are you doing? Are you checking the relatives just to make sure he's not in there?
We are checking homes. We're talking to neighbors if we don't find somebody at that home, and then each one is handled on an individual basis. We typically can check, tax records, county records, to try and find an owner if we're just completely unsuccessful. But the biggest thing we look for immediately while we're there is any sign at all of forced entry. And we have found some open homes, and in those cases we try to obtain permission. Otherwise, through exigent circumstances, we can at least make sure that that home is not occupied by him.
Is there indication that he's gotten into any of these homes? I mean, we've had people contact us saying they believe things have been taken or moved. On your end,
I have not been able to confirm a single case to this point. It doesn't mean he hasn't, but I have not been able to confirm a single
The
thing.
family that said he was downstairs when they were upstairs. The family that said that he
Yes.
That's
Yes.
not a confirmed entry.
I don't doubt that someone was down there. I cannot confirm that it was him.
So that doesn't count in your eight.
Have additional special forces arrived, sir?
We have had tactical teams from all over the country come in and continue to come in. We have some additional resources that are arriving today, and part of the team arrived yesterday and will arrive today, and will become operational by tomorrow. So one of the things when I talk about after the press conference being able to give you some additional insight of how we can do this, we'll have an opportunity to talk about some of those teams tomorrow and give you some idea. I think, and I'll come back to some of your questions here in a minute, but I think what I would like you all to see is that there is an amazing operation going on here. There's a collaboration between local, state, and federal law enforcement agencies. This is not simply a situation where we have a police dispatcher sitting and taking a call and dispatching a police car to go and follow this up. It is a very sophisticated, well-staffed operation that I believe, again, when you have an opportunity to see some of that, there are some portions, obviously, that I can't show you everything, but I think you would have an opportunity to see enough of it to truly come away with an understanding of the effort that is being made to ensure that we end this as quickly as possible, to ensure the safety of the community. We absolutely understand their concern. I get it as a parent, why other parents are concerned about their children going to school, playing in the yard, all of those kinds of things. Again, having been involved in a number of these searches, it is the same with every one of those, and we want to end this as quickly as possible. We'll throw every available resource at it to do it.
You still have a sense of your confidence knowing that he's going back and forth from the same places again and again? What does that do to bolster some morale out here, or does it bolster? And what does that mean for your containment area?
There is no impact on morale, as I said a few minutes ago. I have yet to hear a single complaint. I interact with our people. We have shift changes where we brief out, outgoing troopers and officers. The morale is high, and I talk to them when they come in after a lengthy shift and working in these conditions. Morale remains high. These are people who are volunteering to come here, many from out of the area, who are volunteering. Now, in the case of state police, they're being paid. So I don't mean it to sound as though they're just volunteers, but they are asking their commanders to send them here. That's how high the morale is.
Any sense of where he's going now, and then can you confirm that there was no equipment failure at the prison as it related to any heat that may have impacted any of the cameras or technology there that could have aided in his escape?
I cannot speak again to the technology at the prison. That is not my focus at this point in time. My focus is on capturing him. There is an ongoing investigation there that I'm sure will reveal if there was any kind of a failure, or whether it was a failure of an individual or a group of individuals. That will all be determined and acted on appropriately. But for right now, again, the priority for me and our focus is on getting him back into custody.
Well, you do have a sense of where he's going then?
I have some ideas. Again, I can't get inside his head. I wish I could. I wish I could go right to where he is. So we use our experience, we use the information that's available to us, and then we also use any number of different techniques to try and push him, to try and get him to make a mistake and detect that mistake when it occurs. Just one second, the gentleman back here.
Can you explain why you can't just have this perimeter and then squeeze in and get him? Obviously, it's not that simple. You would have done it, but
yes.
Why doesn't that work?
For a number of reasons, it doesn't work. First of all, it's not just a perfect open piece of land that you can just march through. You've got businesses, residences, highways, hills, valleys, wooded areas that can't be pushed through. The number of people that it would take to contain that area and be able to walk shoulder to shoulder through that area and squeeze, and the amount of time that it would take, it's just simply not realistic to do that. If we were talking about one city block or something like that, would be a different story. It's just too large of an area to be able to squeeze in and push like that.
Yes, Lieutenant Colonel, could you provide an estimate as to how many personnel are currently at Longwood Gardens trying to track this guy down right now? And what tactics and what technology is being used at Longwood Gardens?
You know, off the top of my head, I couldn't speculate. It'd be a large number of people. We don't break the perimeter, so we're not moving every single person there. We want to keep the perimeter secure while we move response teams there. And so I mentioned, tactical teams, aviation, mounted detail, some other foot searchers besides the tactical teams, canines. All of that is brought to bear in terms of the specific number. I couldn't give that to you off the top of my head.
At night still just confirm the account of the man who says he broke into his house.
I'm sorry?
There was a report of the man that says that
yes.
He broke into his house, and also whether he's using bloodhounds.
We are using tracking dogs. And yes, I believe the account that someone broke in. I'm saying I can't conclusively prove that it was him.
Has he left any traces that you have found? Traces of anything? Traces of clothing, food, like the one in Western Pennsylvania, campsites? Has he left any traces at all?
We have not recovered anything that I can conclusively say was his at this point.
Lieutenant Colonel, there was a lot of speculation yesterday about his training as a survivalist. A few years back, you led the search for Eric Green in the Poconos. Can you talk a little bit about the difference between that search, which went on for about 48 days, and the search you're currently undertaking?
Again, as I said earlier, there are a lot of similarities between any of these searches. The difference there was the level of violence. We knew Freen was armed, and so both very violent individuals, very dangerous individuals. The difference is with Freen, you're hunting for a person with a rifle that will penetrate the body armor of any of the officers that are out there, and did penetrate the body armor of the corporal that he killed. And so it brings a different dynamic to that search. But there are a lot of similarities in the search as well. And again, that's where I tell you that we try to take lessons from all of those and bring those to the next job.
So Longwood Gardens is west of 52. Is that outside your perimeter? And I believe today was the first day it was open. Was it
yes, Longwood Gardens proper is out there. They have additional property that is within the perimeter, and it's in the vicinity of that that I'm speaking.
And was that area was not open to the public today because it was inside the perimeter?
I can't speak to whether Longwood Gardens had that piece open or not. There wasn't anybody in there.
So not all of Longwood Gardens is in the perimeter, correct?
Correct.
Do you still have men searched that night?
Yes.
Lieutenant, this is a question maybe for the district attorney or the chief. Neighbors adjacent to the prison spoke to us today about their concerns for their safety, not the first time that someone escaped from the prison, but now the second time. They are curious about alerts. In May, they're on record today saying that in May, there was no siren, there was no warning. I know you don't speak for the county, but as a chief law enforcement officer for Chester County, how can you assure these neighbors that they're not everyone for themselves out there on their properties?
It is.
So I understand that alerts do go out. The first prison escape in May, he was captured within 5 minutes, is my understanding. So I don't even know if there was a time for an alert to go out, but I don't know that information conclusively. They are sending out alerts repeatedly through reverse 911 calls, and they keep expanding the perimeter and the radius to where they send those locations or those notifications. So they are on high alert, and those communities that are affected immediately are alerted right away. So I know that the time frame is very rapid from when they are alerted and until when they have an incident.
Concerned though that, I know it's under investigation, but this is supposed to be a facility that holds in these dangerous people, these guys convicted of murder.
Absolutely. This is an outrage. This should have never happened. You know that I was the prosecutor who was assigned to this case, and I helped convict this man, and he was sentenced to life without parole. We're all upset. We're all concerned, and there will be a thorough investigation, and that will be made public at some point.
District Attorney Ryan, can you speak to the victim, Deborah, for a moment, and her family, and I'm assuming that the family has protection right now, even though he's not here now?
They do have protection, and they are terrified. They haven't left their home. They're barricaded inside and very concerned about their safety. We do have police detail around them 24 hours a day, but I know they're very, very worried.
When you send him back to Chester County Prison?
He will not be going back to Chester County Prison.
And when captured, what charges might he face? I mean, what does this bring from a criminal liability?
He's charged with escape right now. That's a felony.
Where will he go if not to Chester County Prison?
He'll go to a state correctional institution.
The one that he was sentenced to?
He hadn't been assigned to anyone yet. He was on the way to Smithfield to be assigned to another location.
Sorry if this was already asked, but will you all release the video of the keeper of Bolt escape?
No, we're not focusing on that right now. Our primary mission is to get this guy in custody. That's where all of our attention is focused at this moment.
Ms. Ryan, did your office answer the motion seeking a retrial or a resentencing for this defendant, Mr. Cavalcante? I know the judge denied it, but did your office have a response to their pursuing a new trial?
We did not respond. The judge decided that on his own. Yes.
Just a follow-up question for Lieutenant Colonel Bivens. We've talked to someone who has taken it upon himself to enter into wooded areas and look for Cavalcante, obviously, because he's someone who believes they're a vigilante in this case. What is your message to people who may think that they would be empowered?
First of all, they have no authority other than that of a private citizen to do it. They are risking drawing away law enforcement resources because someone else may see them and report them, and we end up having to go investigate that and draw resources away. So I would ask them not to do it. I can't prevent them from doing it, but they have no authority and run the risk of, depending on what action they take, getting themselves in trouble.
Just to confirm that, so the most recent sighting, you said was at Longwood Gardens, but it's not Longwood Gardens?
No, I said it was in the vicinity. It was near Longwood Gardens. Yes.
In the vicinity of the property, that's not the primary Longwood Gardens property?
Yes.
Additional information?
Yes, sir.
Is it Longwood Gardens property or near Longwood Gardens?
I don't know, sir. I wasn't out there personally on that one. It was in that vicinity. I just know where the report was. It was very close to where the camera was, which was on Longwood Gardens property.
What would you say to those who say that he's winning right now? It's 8 days. He's up against hundreds of your people. You've got technology. He's got barely nothing to eat, and you can't catch it. He's winning so far, not you.
Well, we've chased people for a lot longer than this and ultimately brought them to justice. As I've said before, we're not going anywhere. We will eventually capture him, and when we do, he's going to prison. I don't consider that winning.
There were some neighbors near the area where he was spotted by the creek who were concerned that bloodhounds weren't being used and that essentially had been anyway lost in the creek itself. Are bloodhounds part of what you're using to try to track him?
I don't have bloodhounds at this particular scene, but I've got other tracking dogs that we have confidence in and I'm told can perform in a very similar manner. And by the way, we have them from a number of agencies as well.
Just to clarify, so the heat isn't impacting any of the tech that you're using to search for him day and night?
Correct.
Is there any reason, I asked this yesterday, I asked the same question, is there any reason to believe he's getting or gotten help from anyone outside of jail?
It's something that I am always concerned about, but I'm not prepared to discuss that in any further detail at this point. We are always looking for that. And we continue to look for that because even if it doesn't happen at the beginning, it sometimes can happen at a later point in the hunt. And so it's something we're always aware of, but I'm not prepared to discuss it any further.
There was a report that there was a train stopped in search in maybe one area.
There was a train that was stopped there. The railroads have been cooperative with us. For the most part, what they've been doing is stopping at their normal stop. And we can utilize others for surveillance to make sure that no one else boards the train so that we don't disrupt the train traffic.
That stop occurred?
No, I don't. There have been a number of trains over the last several days that have come through there.
Does he have relatives in, this was brought up yesterday and I don't remember the answer was, does he have relatives in Maryland who he may be trying to get to? Something I've heard, but I can't, speculation. Does he have relatives in Maryland? Does he have relatives near here who he's been trying to get to? Tell us anything about when you've talked to him?
He has relatives in the general area here. Offhand, I'm not familiar with anyone in Maryland. If he's trying to get to those, I wouldn't be able to tell you that at this point.
Have you spoken to them? Have you tried to get cooperation from them?
We have spoken to relatives, and I can't go any further than that.
Yesterday you said something about you still believe he's heading south, but you couldn't elaborate on that. Can you go further today?
No. Okay. All right. Again, thank you very much for your help in getting this word out, keeping the public informed, and we'll talk afterward here about tomorrow. Okay. Thank you.
Amazing. So, not really many updates, or if anything, really. We got an update on what's his name? Loki, the dog. Everybody's very, very concerned about the dog's health, not the serial killer out there. So the dog is in good health and good spirits. Being sarcastic, kind of. I wanted to show you this information too, and we'll see if Nick goes live. I wanted to show you. So Deborah, okay, the sister of the victim. Okay, the woman that was killed and stabbed like 30-something times by Cavalcante. I guess she did an interview with CNN. I don't know if she actually spoke on this or it's just a... Let me see something. Well, let's look at this real quick. I'll read the article, but I want to see if she's actually on video. I guess the prosecutor had mentioned here that they haven't slept in days. And so after this guy... And we're also going to take a look at this interactive map, by the way, to see what some of the updates, sightings, locations, things like that. But I want to do the CNN thing first. And people have asked as well, what is this thing here on the left side of the screen? This is the helicopter. This helicopter is Skyforce 10. And that sound that you kept hearing was me. I was trying to pull up their website because I was hoping like maybe they'd have a camera on the helicopter that we could see, but apparently it doesn't look like it. But it's circling around the Longwood area. We've talked about, there's been, I guess, multiple sightings in this area, and some of them were like, I guess, trail cams. And this Longwood thing, it's like, let me pull it up here. Got too many screens all over the place, actually. Hold on a second. Get this right here. So we got the interactive map. We got the interview of the victim's sister. And then this Longwood Gardens, we talked about this the other day, but it's just like one of these, I keep forgetting the term of it. It's just one of these, like, I don't know, it's a really beautiful place. They do events there. It's like a Longwood Gardens is one of America's most quintessential landscapes, is a place of ever-changing seasonal beauty, handcrafted feats, and horticultural wonder. It's a really beautiful looking place. It's like one of those, it's just plants and flowers and all kinds of like vegetation, and like they have like a theater there and performances. And he was spotted. We're going to come back to this map in a second, but this Longwood Gardens right here, looking at it here on the map. So he wasn't spotted like inside Longwood Gardens. I think like that place has like, you have to get admission to get inside, but he was spotted on the trail cams. So let me see here. This Longwood Gardens is huge. This, let me hide the camera for a second. Longwood trail cam. So he was seen on the trail cam. Reported sighting discussed in press conference. This is right by Longwood Gardens. I thought there was one south of Longwood Gardens too or something. Potential sighting. Unconfirmed sight. Oh, so this was the Walmart thing that was mentioned today in the press conference. Supposedly an unconfirmed Walmart sighting. Imagine this guy's shopping at Walmart. A man picked up by a car. They're posting. This person's doing a really good job on this interactive map. They're posting all the unconfirmed and maybe confirmed sightings. Break-in reported. So the focus today seems like back again to this Longwood Gardens, though we've been kind of all over the place in a circle. That's why I think he said, that's what they're calling it here, police perimeter. If you guys, how big of an area did he say? I think, I don't know, was it 10 square miles or something? Elizabeth, thank you so much for your legal funds. You got this. Thank you. Yeah, by the way, don't forget, if you haven't heard about this yet, I have a legal situation going on. The link's pinned in the chat. It's also in the description. We're almost at the goal. So this is really nice. Thank you for the people that could donate. I understand too. There's people that said they can't, which is perfectly fine. But thank you for the people that could. Or the people that just watch my channel too. That helps a lot too. So thank you. All right. So the sister, slain woman's sister, says Pennsylvania fugitive transformed from a kind neighbor into a jealous and threatening boyfriend, a psychopath. Before he brutally killed his ex-girlfriend in front of her children 2 years ago in Pennsylvania, Danelo seemed like a positive match, a fellow Brazilian who was a good neighbor and kind. Imagine that shit. And he's killed before, right? Well, I'm pretty sure most of us know that, but he's killed in Brazil, and he left Brazil on the run, came over here for, I don't know, a better life at killing. I don't know. And supposedly the problem with that ex-girlfriend was that at some point, allegedly, she had threatened to, because she found out about what he did in Brazil, and she had threatened to be like, I'm going to tell these people what you did. And dude snapped. But Cavalcante, now the subject of a manhunt after he escaped from a Pennsylvania prison last week, seemed to transform over time, eventually exuding jealousy and threatening Deborah before her death. Sister told CNN, which I want to see. Is there an actual...
CNN reported earlier this morning that...
No. Okay, there's not a video interview. I was hoping for a video interview, but that's okay. Now the sister Sarah, who lived near both of them, is taking care of Deborah's 2 children, as well as our own daughter in Pennsylvania. She's terrified about his escape and worried he could come after her. I'd be freaked out too. I haven't slept for many days since his escape. I've been waking up with fright at night. I nap and wake up with fright, Sarah says. She told CNN in an interview, translated from Portuguese to English. Cavalcante, who was convicted last month of first-degree murder in the 2021 killing, escaped from Chester County Prison, some 30 miles west of Philadelphia on August 31st. And we know about this whole search. Hundreds of officers. Now they got a new team out there too. They're bringing out new squads from out of state. I think that squad is from Texas. All kinds of technology. So I don't know how this guy is evaded. I mean, he said in the press conference that they've done longer manhunts, but I'm just surprised because it's such a concentrated area, you know, and it seems like they've been on top of him. But the other thing, so I wonder if it's the effect of, like, I would almost say like the Brian Laundrie effect, kind of, you know, everybody's on high alert and we're getting all these reports. I mean, the only thing with this is it's a concentrated area of the reports. People are not saying like in other states or in other cities. It's very concentrated. So the sightings could be him. But I remember Brian Laundrie, they say he was in Mexico. They say he was in Canada. All the Brian lookalikes are being hunted for. I had a subscriber, or I still have him. I like the guy, you know, but he thought he saw Brian Laundrie, right? He posted a video to his YouTube channel. Anthony, if you're watching, man, I don't know if you could send me that video because that shit was hilarious. But he thought he spotted Brian Laundrie. So this guy, I guess, gets in his car, starts following some guy, which I don't ever recommend. And I guess starts kind of chasing after him. And so the guy starts driving fast too, I guess because he doesn't know what's going on. And then he finally got stuck at a red light and the guy like sped off. I don't know. That Brian Laundrie shit was crazy. Or almost like the makes me think of the Idaho murders as well. Koberger. Just kind of like this all over chase. I don't know. So anyway, yeah, he's wanted for the 2017 homicide in Brazil. He's extremely dangerous and desperate not to get caught. And they've urged residents in areas near the prison to keep their doors locked away. Stay inside, check their security cameras. This is, to the left is Sarah. And this is the sister of Deborah. And to the right is Deborah. And they came to the U.S. Came to the U.S. to give Deborah's children a better life. Her sister, Deborah, okay, right, came to the U.S. Okay. He changed from a nice neighbor to a jealous boyfriend. Deborah first met Cavalcante because they were neighbors in Chester County. He helped and was kind to Deborah, she said. They did it for about 1.5 years, according to Sarah. She said he was nice to her. He was nice to her children, that he helped her Sarah told CNN. He kept her company. She didn't feel alone anymore. He seemed normal, but he was always very silent, observant, and reserved. Bro, that creepy ass picture, bro. Yeah. He treated Deborah's two children well, but there wasn't much attachment to them. No love, no hug, nothing. Very cold. His behavior toward Deborah changed over time, Sarah said, so she kept saying that he was extremely jealous, that when he drank, he became a different person, that he kept going through her cell phone. Cavalcante would threaten Deborah, telling her he would do the worst to her if she ever cheated. Cavalcante killed Deborah, 33, in April 2021 by stabbing her 38 times in front of the children, bro. Cold ass MFer. Cold motherfucker. The kids at the time, they were 7 and 4 years old. The Chester County District Attorney said she filed a protection from abuse order against him the year prior. But, of course, that never does anything. Just days after his conviction last month, Cavalcante was sentenced to life. Did we go over this probable cause thing? I feel like we did, but I don't remember. Did we go over the probable cause? I'm not sure. Sister fears Fugitive will show up at her home. When Cavalcante was sentenced last month, Sarah felt relief. Deborah was honored and received justice. But since Cavalcante's escape, Sarah has been living in fear. I was desperate, very scared. I thought about my children, obviously. Sarah is worried about Cavalcante could show up at her Chester County. So she's in Chester County. Bruh! I'd make sure you got some cameras. I mean, a gun. Maybe not even stay home. I'd stay somewhere else, maybe. Maybe she doesn't have a choice. I don't know. Despite her fear, she believes police will capture Cavalcante. Deborah had brought her children to the U.S. for a better life, sister says. When Sarah learned about the sister's murder, my world ended. The sisters were best friends, she said. The only time they weren't together was at bedtime. We worked together all day. We talked on the cell phone all day when we weren't together. Deborah brought her children to the United States because here the quality of life is better than Brazil. She wanted to give a better life for both of them. Now Sarah is trying to give Deborah's children the lives her sister wanted for them. I have a house cleaning company. My husband has a flooring services company, and we continue working our little life and trying to do the best for the children, which is what I want. I'm sorry, I'm gibbering up there. Which is what I have been doing since I lost my sister, she said. I try my best, right? Okay. That was some new information from the sister, a little bit of a backstory, some more backstory about this guy, this nut job. Let's take a look at this little interactive map. Manny, by the way, thank you so much for the gifts. Really appreciate that. Got to do some more members videos. I don't know if Wendy's in here. Nah. I need to thank Wendy for the other day. Let's see here. So 9/7, this is today. What color is this? This is like, I can click and unclick. Let's do today. Let's see. Okay, so here's today's sightings. So the Longwood area again. This is why that helicopter is just circling. I think it actually left now. Maybe it's going back for fuel. 2 sightings today, so let's click on this. 5 a.m. report on scanner of home alarm triggered after potential sighting. So I always think it's important to get some type of protection for your home, especially all the crazy shit I dealt with, And then here's another one here. Reported sighting noontime, discussed in press conference. Golf carts and heavy presence on ground. Let me see if Nick is live, because I'm wondering if maybe he'll give us a little bit of a visual in that area. Oh, Jordan, where did you send that to me? It says, I don't know if you saw, but I sent you what they are using today from the federal government. Let me see. Okay. Oh, okay. Oh, yes. I mentioned this earlier. So according to the second law enforcement source, the Border Patrol Tactical Unit, that's Bortac, has brought state-of-the-art technology to assist local state authorities in the manhunt for Cavalcante. Bortac is an elite tactical unit within the United States Border Patrol trained for high-risk operations requiring specialized skills and tactics. Nick posted that. All right, let me see. No, this was earlier. We can take a little look at this. Let me see. Just witnessed a lone police car with its emergency lights on speeding through Longwood. Ooh, this was 11 minutes ago. No other activity to report at this time. If nothing else materializes in the next few minutes, I'll be moving to the area where there was potential activity overnight. Huh. We'll skip around this. Just want to see what it was doing earlier.
Are you guys able to hear and see? It's the signal here. They must be using blockers because the Wi-Fi from the car isn't working as soon as we pull up. So we're gonna have to go around. So right here to our left, there's a command center that just stationed up. As soon as I pull in, the Wi-Fi cuts out and my signal goes to no bars, into SOS mode. So I'm not sure if that's because they have some kind of equipment that is blocking the signal. So we're gonna try to get a clip of the command center. There's no restrictions, there's no roadblock around it, but there are tractor trailers with tactical gear, and there, as soon as you pull in, there's no service. So let's try to go through Longwood. So I'm not going to the press conference. So what I learned last night, and I told you guys that there are 30 guys from Bortac, which is a border control tactical team. It's one of the leading teams in the country when it comes to high stakes, high risk. No, I'm not going to the presser. When it comes to high stakes and high risk investigations and manhunts. So 30 of them are on the ground with 4 Blackhawks that are either here somewhere or inbound. So we're in Longwood Gardens right now. We are gonna try to get signal at the other location, but I'm just trying to give you guys a little update of what's going on. There's been a lot of activity today, and there really is no update from any of my law enforcement sources, except that it's going to be a busy day. Like I said last night, that it's going to be a very busy day here, and the investigation is ramping up. The federal government is bringing in additional resources to make sure that the fugitive doesn't make it to Delaware. And I'm going to see if we can see the command center from here, which we can't. So when we get close to the command center, it's probably going to cut out, just so you guys know. And if it cuts out, I'm probably going to be back in about 15 minutes. I'm going to go to a better spot. It's odd because as soon as we pull in, the signal cuts off. So we're going to try to get, once again, we're going to try to pull in and see if the signal stays. So right up here is where the command center is, right in front of me, right over here. So as soon as we make this right at the light, there's a command center set up right on the premises of Longwood Gardens. So I'm about to pull in, and let's see. You guys can see the command center from here. Let's pull to this side for a second. You guys can see the command center getting geared up. I can't go up on the grass over here.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah. Watch yourself. I can't go on the grass, but that's the command center that's posting up. They have federal agents. So you guys can see that there are trucks that say police. I'm sorry that it's shaky, but I don't have the tripod set up in the car. So the command center is right over here, and that looks like where the tractor trailers are gearing up for something. They brought tractor trailers with a lot of gear, tactical vests, computers, all kinds of stuff that I'm assuming they're going to use in connection to the manhunt. Now, to our left, that road is closed with police presence. Yesterday, there was only 1 officer down there. Today, there are 5 that are blocking that road. And this command center looks like it's for the federal government and state government, not for any local law enforcement. There are a lot of federal agents in that area right now, but as soon as we pull in, the service goes away. So what we're trying to do is give you guys a little shot from here. And what I'll do is, if the service goes away when we pull in, and Cert just passed us. You guys can see Cert.
Yeah.
Cert is heading into the command center. So that's that green van that you guys have been seeing, and that green van indicates the Cert team. Every time that green van is deployed, it's the Cert team that comes off. So right now, Cert has arrived to the command center. I'm unsure if that means that they are gearing up for an active search or if they're just going to do a push or a sweep through the woods. So again, we're at Longwood Gardens. The gardens are open today, despite the fugitive being seen here. I guess they have a reason to believe that he's not at the garden. So the command center is right here on the property. Now, yesterday, all of these roads were closed. This road was closed and that road was closed. That one is still closed. And there were police cars that were blocking this. So today there are no police cars or road barriers for that road. So it's open, but you could only stick around for about a minute or two before you're likely asked to leave. We're not going to pull into the command center for obvious reasons. So I'm going to try to go in closer for you guys to see. And if you don't see and it gets blurry and cuts out, what we're going to do is quickly grab a video, like a little bit, it's called B-roll, just to show you guys a general idea of what it looks like. Probably a 20-second clip. I'll put it up and then
let me see.
We'll go back live from another location. Likely we're going to drive around like we did yesterday and look for the best spot. So again, they brought in 30 agents from that Bortac team overnight. They came under the cover of darkness, essentially, and they touched ground late last night. And they brought with them 4 Blackhawks that are here for the investigation. And the Blackhawks should be in the air within the next few hours, from what I understand. Today is the day that they are really bringing in the manpower, and it's sort of unprecedented. The law enforcement that I know working this have never seen an operation like this. They've never seen this Bortac team come to anything that they've worked on. And it's a very interesting elite group of agents that are specially trained, and they're primarily located in Texas. So these guys are with Customs and Border Patrol, but they assist law enforcement in high-risk situations that have a it could be very dangerous to the community. That's why they're here. And they also want to make sure that this guy doesn't cross into Delaware. We're only 5 minutes from Delaware and about 10 minutes, as I said before, from the president's Delaware home. So if he goes toward Delaware, that might be a problem for him regardless, given the security around the home of the president. But they don't want him to leave this area. They don't want him to go to Delaware. So they are really zeroing in with every single resource. And I hear choppers. I'm not sure if that's a news helicopter.
Somebody's in the chat spamming that he was caught. I don't see that anywhere. I've looked in. And you're saying live news. Why don't you say which live news? Like what station? I checked the local station. There's nothing there. And there's nothing on Twitter. So I don't see anything yet. That Cert team, I want to show you a video too, because it look kind of, let's see here. Just one example. Cert, let me see. Corrections Emergency Response Team, or is it SERT? Cert. Kentucky Corrections Department. Cert training. Yeah, Los Angeles one here. Let's see.
Charge of the Disaster Preparedness Division.
It all happened within 1 year to do some fire suppression, what we could launch community preparedness program in the country, that they said, Los Angeles, you have the best program, and we want to use that to expand.
Let me see, because there's 2, I think. Yeah. Yeah, there's Cert, and then there's Cert. There's a CER with T, which I think is for natural disasters, and then there's a SERT, which is like this. I think what this is. At Cert team training, special emergency response teams go where other law enforcement can't. Oh, this is Pennsylvania right here, I think. Lancaster County. Let's take a look at this real quick. Let's see. By the way, this is all just demonstrations. It's the news. It's not actual violence. Educational purposes.
3 rounds each circle. I don't care how you address it, but shoot 3 rounds on each circle, and it's going to be 2 forced reloads.
Dressed in green and armed with rifles. Individually, they're police
Was it? This, Stacy says the Cert team is who got Kohlberger.
officers. Together, a specialized team.
We handle some of the most difficult incidents that you can.
Special emergency response teams, often called Cert, go where other law enforcement can't.
Who else would people call if they didn't have you guys?
In the United States, nobody. The military can't operate domestically, so if something goes seriously wrong, it's your police officers and your tactical teams that are going to come and deal with it.
Hostage situations, high-risk warrant services, and threats of terrorism.
Oh, it's absolutely fun.
Today, Sergeant Henry Berry and the team
Run as fast as you can, but as slow as you need to make solid hits.
getting in some range time and practicing warrant service. When Barry's not in this uniform, he wears a different badge for Lancaster Bureau of Police.
You worked overnight last night and then you came out to training here this morning.
Yeah.
Why?
One, because I don't have much of a choice. I have to. I mean, we're required to have so many training hours over the course of the year. So it's, to a certain extent, it's a sacrifice, but it's one that's well worth it.
Depending on the police department, officers may get overtime to compensate for training and call-outs. But as Lancaster County's commander would say, no special treatment.
They're held to a higher standard. But when they're on their back to their home departments, they're still doing the same job that all their officers do every day.
When he's not leading the team, James Zom is also a county detective.
We're a life-saving organization. A lot of people get the idea we look like an army unit, and we were out there to shoot people. We're not.
Let's look up the other one too, Bortac. We'll take a look at it after.
We try not to shoot people.
Zom says the goal isn't to hurt the bad guy. It's to catch him before he does damage to himself or others. And so they train with guns and tools that make an even greater boom. Building different charges that can push a door in or cut it clean off its hinges.
We do a lot of math and preparation ahead of time before each explosion to figure out how close we can be.
This member can't be identified because of his duties as an officer.
In an emergency situation, how much time do you think you would have to actually set this all up?
If we know what we're getting ourselves into, it could take just a couple seconds. Or if it's a very complicated situation and we have a lot of time to pre-plan, we could build a charge based on our needs at the moment.
Training that could make the difference in a life-threatening situation.
It's hard to beat the fun of blowing things up, but it's also good to know that if there was a true emergency situation, that we have every tool at our disposal to get inside a room as quickly as we could.
You've seen the tools to get inside, but what about protection from who may be in there? The Pennsylvania State Police has a fleet of ballistic vehicles for its team.
Oh, look at that shit.
This
They need
Rook
those guys.
hit with bullets
is that the Rook?
3 times, saving multiple lives.
I've been in several different roles within the teams.
Corporal David Brodeur now coordinates Cert training.
We try to actually avoid the term elite. We're just a solid group of guys, and when we have a call out, we're focused on our mission, and nothing's going to stop us until we complete our mission.
He chose to apply for one very simple reason.
The biggest thing is I love doing police work, and at the very basic level of police work, we're catching bad guys.
Troopers handle the same kind of situations as a county team, just a lot more frequently.
Yeah, bring in the Rook. But there's so many trees and stuff, but I don't know. Run the shits over. Yeah, somebody in the chat, maybe time him out. Whoever that is that keeps spamming, he's been caught. I don't know what the purpose of that person is. I haven't seen that anywhere.
Last year, Lancaster County Cert was called out 10 times. In comparison, PSP responded 227 times.
Every single guy on the team has a family and loved ones, and that's who we're with when we're not working. So probably 9 out of 10 times, if we get a page, we're with our family and our loved ones.
PSP Cert experienced an increase in call-outs every year.
Check it out. PA State Police K9 locally has suffered a heat-related illness during the search. That boy's stunting with them glasses. Is that a medical thing or he's just stunting? He was discharged for the veterinary care today. Thank you for the veterinary staff for their care and the public for their well wishes of his recovery. All right, he's back in action. That boy's stunting. Ah. Maybe that's a medical thing. Maybe it's not to stunt, right? What is that? Some gangster ass shades. Yeah, shit looks futuristic. Well, who am I thinking of? Who's that guy that shoots laser out of the eyes? The Oculus. The boy, challenge, man. Scruffy. All right.
Since 2015, 2020 might involve even more work.
With the election year, Pennsylvania is a battleground state, so we're often doing
Apple Vision Pros on
motorcade security and site security for the vice president or the president.
There is only one team for the eastern part of Pennsylvania and another that covers the west, with call-outs lasting anywhere from a few hours to much, much longer.
We won't make the call to go into a house just because of time. If we need to, if it is an issue of exhaustion, we've been there 14, 15, 20 hours, well, we can call our counterparts from the West Cert team.
Working long hours, wearing heavy equipment, and facing an increased risk of being seriously hurt or killed. Why do they do it? Cert members cite a desire to protect and serve, and a sense of camaraderie that you won't find on other teams.
How much do you rely on those guys?
You put your life in their hands. It's a matter of trust. You know what the other guy's going to do, hopefully, and they're going to have your back, and you trust them.
Grace Griffithson, Fox 40.
And so that's the Cert. That's a little look at the Cert. But now today they're talking about Bortac. I want to take a look at Bortac real quick too. Trying to find a good video on them. I mean, there's quite a few videos, but elite Bortac unit to join Sanctuary City crackdown. Oh shit. Oh, sorry. Dramatic ending SWAT. I guess let's do this one. U.S. Border Patrol Special Operations Group. Let's take a look at this.
Border Patrol Special Operations Group. What's up, everyone? General Discharge here. Today's video is going to be discussing the United States Border Patrol Special Operations Group, which consists of Bortac and Borstar. Bortac stands for Border Patrol Tactical
Yeah, they got Borstar too.
Unit, and Borstar stands for Border Patrol Search, Trauma, and Rescue. These are their respective badges. We're going to go over with you what the SOG is, what Bortac and Borstar do, as well as their capabilities, missions, training, and requirements.
Our voices are disguised so we can give you information on just about anything without being detected. Oh, wow, that's mysterious.
Court is our lifeblood. Do not hesitate to ask us questions with specially trained and equipped teams capable of rapid response to emergent and uncommon law enforcement situations requiring special tactics and techniques, search and rescue, and medical response capabilities. As you can see, this is where Bortac and Borstar come into play. Let's get into Bortac. The mission of Bortac is to respond to terrorist threats of all types anywhere in the world in order to protect our nation's homeland. It provides an immediate response capability to emergent and high-risk incidents requiring specialized skills and tactics, and is unique in that it conducts training and operations both in the United States and in other countries in furtherance of the U.S.
Yeah, look at that shit. Gangster.
They have conducted training and operations with foreign and domestic law
Are they dancing?
as well as military entities throughout the country and the world.
That's tight.
Air mobile operations.
High risk warrant service, intelligence, reconnaissance, surveillance, air mobile operations.
Maritime operations, counter-narcotics, military working dogs, and they even have trained snipers.
Oh.
Just keep in mind, while that list may say a lot about them, that's only scratching the surface. Its selection course, the BSTC, which is short for Bortac Selection and Training Course, is designed to mirror aspects of the U.S. Special Operations Forces selection courses. We'll go more into that later in the video. Okay, now you know a decent bit about Bortac. what about Borstar? Borstar,
Let's get
FEMA
Borstar.
mission assignments, national search and rescue operations, national special security events, and specialized training and shoot over a 324.
You gotta be able to run 300 meters in 54 seconds. You gotta do 42 sit-ups in 1 minute. Woo! 40 push-ups, no time limit. Okay. I can't do 40. I could do maybe like 20. I gotta work on my push-ups. I want to start doing push-ups every day. I'm just old, man. The bones and shit. I could probably push 25, but I need to work up to that. 8 pull-ups. I can't do. I'm horrible at pull-ups. 1 or 2. I just started getting some physical stuff. I was thinking calisthenics too. Maybe I was thinking calisthenics. I saw some video the other day, some advertisement. You could do a lot just with your own weight. Some calisthenics. I want to find like a video or something that just tells it. There's like apps that like day 1, day 2, day 3, do this, do that. Be surprised what you can do with your own weight. So you got to run 1.5 miles in 11 minutes or less. Shoot over a 324 in your pistol qual. That boy.
Testing phase. Candidates undergo weeks of intense training in small unit tactics, operational planning, advanced weapon skills, defensive tactics, and air mobile operations. Before graduating and putting on the Bortac
8 pull-ups.
wings,
Oh, yeah, that shit is
candidates must
tough.
demonstrate the ability to function in a team environment under stress and sleep deprivation conditions. If you make it through, you will return to your...
Actually, the push-ups, I probably would expect it more. I mean, that's kind of tough, but if you're physically fit, I mean, you could probably... So these boys, they're coming for his ass. And then STC physical test, you got to do 7 pull-ups, 40 push-ups, no limit, 60 sit-ups in 2 minutes, 1.5 mile run in 11 minutes or less, 250-yard swim. Okay. So yeah, they got the real deal coming for his ass. They supposedly brought out this squad today, Bortac. They're coming for your ass. Let's listen again to what Nick was saying, because he's in that. This was earlier when he was in the, I think, called Longwood area. Where's this at? Right screen. There we go. Okay.
They're above us, but they're really gearing up, and this is
Let's see if he's
the
live
longest
too.
I've seen them gearing up for. I mean, they're unloading tractor trailers, and they're getting ready for something. So we're gonna pull in right now, and if it loses, we'll be back in about 15 minutes, but I'll grab a video of it, okay? So we're gonna head in right now. Let's pull in, and if it cuts out, just be ready for it to cut out, just so you guys know. And yeah, they were searching trains this morning, and then as you guys know, last night there was police activity. As we were getting ready to leave, a call came in from the command center. I got a text that said that there's gonna be activity related to the investigation there. They didn't give me much information except we're responding, and it's in connection to the manhunt. And it was on Fairville Road in Chad's Ford. Now, we accidentally beat the police to the location. And if that's NBC, it's showing, here's the command center. Keep going, don't slow down like that. And turn around, like make a U-turn.
So they are saying that, and this is from, I don't know what the hell Y News is, but during a press conference on Thursday, authorities said there was a possible sighting. Oh yeah, just before 12 p.m. in the vicinity of Longwoods. Yeah, we were looking at that already.
So you guys can see that it's, and that's the officers I'm talking about across the way. Did the service stay? Were you guys able to hear fine? Because if you were, we're gonna pull up and we're gonna park there for a second. Okay, so let's do that again. We're gonna make the left over the bridge again. So so it worked. Okay, so what we're gonna do then is we're gonna park up and we're gonna get a better shot. We just did a little loop, so we didn't raise any flags over there for them to ask us to leave, because we wanted to, if it didn't work, we were gonna come back and get a clip and then upload that to Twitter and then come to another scene. So since it worked, we're gonna make a left, do that little loop around Longwood Gardens once more and pull back in. And I'll be able to stand there for about 3 minutes to try to get as much as we can without any interference, obviously. But there are no police behind us guarding this area, and there are no road closed signs. So the road is not restricted, and I've been saying this for the past 7 days. We're not going to go in any restricted areas. Last night, when we responded to that potential, I don't know if it was a sighting, I don't know what it was. We beat the police there, so there was no perimeter, and that wasn't
Thank you for the membership, Terry. Appreciate it.
our intention. So we were gonna get out of the neighborhood, and that's when 3 state troopers pulled up to us, and they didn't know where they were. They asked us if we knew how to get to 1217 Fairville. They obviously, I guess, don't have GPS, so they started driving off, and then more state troopers asked us again, do you guys know how to get to that location? And that's been a problem that we've been seeing for days, where there have been troopers that are so far away from this area that don't know where they are, and they have no clue about the neighborhood, that's why it's crucial to keep local law enforcement in the loop, which they did last night, but I'm not sure what happened at that location and if it panned out to be anything, but throughout the night, there were planes hovering around in circles for hours on end with helicopters. So it was very fluid in some sense. And the police response was rather quick. We were close by. That's why we beat the police there. We were finishing our driving tour to show you guys the neighborhood and show you the route that he might have.
Nice.
Like, not show you the route, but show you why it's so hard to find somebody like this, with all of the brush and with all of the woods and the heavy shrubs and I mean everything. It's very dense. So we showed you guys that, and as we were leaving, the call came in. It's cutting in and out. Okay, so it's probably this spot. So what we're gonna do is, as we pull in, it should come back. It's gonna come back in about a second.
Well, I guess, let me see how many notifications we got.
This area has terrible connection, so you guys know.
Let's see what we got for today. Okay.
So we're gonna do one more lap. And yeah, that's what I'm hearing, that they're not letting independent journalists in, which is very bizarre. Actually, I've never heard of that at a press conference.
Oh,
really,
we got two.
At like White House press conferences, you're able, if you go through the clearance, you're able to get credentials to go. So it's really weird that they're restricting it, and it's almost like they want the questions to be limited to what narrative I guess they want to have, or they don't want random citizens in there because of the media presence, and that there are cameras live just in case somebody says something that can be offensive and scream something. That could be the reason why they're restricting access, but I'm not even going, and I doubt they would I don't know if they would restrict my access.
Okay, I think that's it for now. So I have 2 notifications still left for so that's great. If I need to come back, I'm gonna keep an eye on this stuff. I think there's a bit of interest. Also, like I just want to clarify earlier, just to be clear, earlier I said that with the story of Ruby Franke, an attorney reached out to me and said if if he can come on my channel and talk about the case as far as like legal questions. So I wasn't talking about the manhunt. I was talking about Ruby Franke. So if you have any questions, you can email me or I don't know, DM me. I'm going to sit down later and come up with some questions myself. We could do a little short video, maybe talking about the case. But yeah, I'm going to be paying attention for any updates on this. I'll probably be on tonight, because it seems like with this story, there's a lot of activity at night. So, and especially now that they got this other team, Bortac, out there. Oh, thank you, Frank. Frank messaged me the different flights, the helicopters, state police. Okay. So we can use this later too. You can watch aircraft during the search. There's more info on this site than flight radar. Oh, okay. Okay. Put me on game. All right. And I signed up to this site as well. Okay, cool. So this is a really good email. I can save this. It has the different helicopters and state police ones and all that stuff. All right, yeah. So the plan is I'll probably, if there's any kind of update or any kind of sighting, I'll come back on tonight and hang out. At some point, I'd like to talk to this attorney. I'll wait a little while. I don't know if it's going to be today or tomorrow. I got to see his availability. And I don't know. I feel like we need to start mixing in some stories as well, besides just this manhunt thing. We can do some other live streams as well. And keep in mind too, shit, CrimeCon's right around the corner. I didn't realize it's like almost a week, maybe 2 weeks, about 2 weeks. So I got to start prepping stuff. Also, in October, I think we're going to be back doing a trial. Let me see. I think Harmony Montgomery trial. Let me take a look and see if it didn't get pushed back. And the Koberger's not happening. Okay, let's see. I thought they said October. Oh no. Let me see. Adam Montgomery's murder trial was originally scheduled for the summer. We'll now move it to late fall, with jury now slated to be November 20th. So it got pushed back even further. Damn. Okay, so I don't know. Maybe we'll have to find a different trial in the meantime. I'll keep an eye out. I really wish we covered that. I just didn't know what was happening at the time. The Breasia Terrell. We didn't get to cover that. We missed it. Authorities are planning an unusual get together for members of the media at the command center tomorrow morning. This event is designed to showcase the technology they're using in the manhunt. Coffee and snacks will be provided. It's an odd move given the situation. This is what Nick said. I'm still on the lookout for any ongoing activity. That's interesting. I guess they want to reassure the public of everything that they're doing. Mimi, thank you so much for the super chat. Says hi, Mel, and all much love from what's CH? Chicago? The neighborhood. Thank you for the 20 months. This dude is just training for Hunger Games. Thumbs up. Also, hi, Mel. I'm here. Thank you. Yeah, hit the thumbs up, the like button. Elizabeth, thank you for the super chat earlier. I guess that's it for now. I am going to try to figure out a little bit more of this website that was emailed to me, so we can pull up the different flights. Jump to PHL. Oh, okay. This guy told me how to use it. Use the plus and negative to zoom or two finger. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna mess around with this later. Oh yeah, I'll do it off stream. All right. So I'll catch you guys later, man. Sarah Boone, the attorney gave up. Another attorney left her and recommended she represent herself. So I don't know if that's actually gonna happen. Let's see. Sarah Boone's sixth attorney wants out. It's 4 hours.
The problem is I fell asleep. I fell asleep.
When did you do CPR?
This morning, when I found it.
Before you called?
Yes!
It's 1 o'clock right now.
I tried. I was awake, but I actually got out of the bed at like...
Usually there are body parts of a victim that are severed and found in suitcases that are discarded by the killer. In this case, the suitcase is the alleged...
Damn, this thing has been delayed 12 times. What?
Murder weapon. Here's the story.
The suitcase murder. She got her boyfriend to get into a suitcase and then left him for dead. There's literal video of it.
Hey, take a look, folks. Big hearing this Friday in Florida versus Sarah Boone. And what's the subject matter of this hearing? Well, once again, Sarah Boone having some trouble with her representation. She's been through 5 attorneys. Here's what her 6th attorney has said in his motion to withdraw. The defendant will not be satisfied with any attorney unless said attorney does not have a caseload and can dedicate his or her time solely to Ms. Boone's case. The best possible avenue is to have the defendant represent herself, as no attorney can satisfy her. All right, let's bring back in our think tank.
Oh, thank you. Manny sent me a trial that just started. Opening statement. Mother stabbed murder trial. Okay, they got the opening and the closing statements. We could check it out. Maybe tomorrow or the weekend. Well, it's only... Yeah, we could check it out. I'll look into this. I don't see like the full day's trial. Like it's just the opening statement and closing statement, but we could do bits and pieces. Sidney Powell. I mean, it would be a good way to catch up just to watch the opening and closing. Sidney Powell. Oh. Okay, I'll look into this as well. Lawyers for Sidney Powell, Kenneth Chesbrough appear in court. Yeah, they just have little snippets. We'll check it out. We'll watch that and see. We could just do a live stream and decide if we're interested or not. I don't see a full day's worth of trial, but we could just watch the snippets.
Anyone want the case?
No one wants
hard
it.
pass.
So we've all been there. We've all been there with a client that we just don't want to represent, but we have a duty not to badmouth the client, right? Not to taint the court system. I just want out, Judge. Trust me. If you think I have a good reputation, you know why I want out, but I don't have to say it. I mean, spelling it out, that's a little over the top to me, but he's saying what we're all thinking.
And probably the 5 prior lawyers have written stuff that's similar, so he's just adding to the same song.
Well, how much time is a client entitled to?
How much what?
What's
time of their attorney?
I agree with her. You want
You
your
have
lawyer.
to zealously represent.
Yeah, it's
right, but she wants more time.
No, listen, I'm sorry, because we've all had clients that say we don't give enough time, and we have to just do what's necessary. And that's important for us to define, not the client.
Is that an hour a week? 2 hours a week?
There's nothing wrong with her wanting a lawyer full time. I mean, everyone wants, the more time a lawyer can spend on your case, the better your chances are of success. So there's nothing wrong with her wanting that. The question is...
Well, she's getting a free one.
Right, that's the question. How much time does she get when we're all paying for it? You get enough time to do a good job.
And really, the judge is concerned about moving the business and closing the case. And I'm kind of surprised that the judge hasn't taken a more stern position. I suspect it's because of what lawyers have written the judge and said, hey, this isn't like a normal person complaining about a lawyer. This is a really extreme set of circumstances. But at some point, a judge is going to try that case, lawyer or not.
And this is going to, this is not, the defense here, we believe, is going to be some form of like battered woman syndrome, something like that.
Listen, I'm going to be on your side on this one. Good luck.
Yeah, I don't think she's got much luck, but there's going to be a defense presented that she was the victim of some alleged beatings and domestic violence.
And accident, and she passed out, and she was asleep. And who would have thought that someone's going to suffocate inside of a suitcase? I mean, yeah, the video kills it.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this: how many different defenses is someone entitled to? Because first she said they were playing hide and seek. Then you see the video and she's taunting him. Then she says she doesn't remember, and now it's battered women.
Listen, we can have 5,000 defenses.
You got 12 jurors. Should the jury know about all the prior ones?
No, the prosecution has that burden of proof. Remember, we're just the guy throwing the arrows to see what sticks. So we can do 42
And you
different
needed
ones.
one juror to buy one of the defenses.
Yep.
So you guys have no obligation to the truth.
We have an obligation to clients. And by the way, this segment's brought to you by Don't Talk to the Police. Come on.
But she has to call the police. I mean, she didn't call them initially. She called her ex-husband first.
Also, don't videotape yourself doing stupid things.
That's like rule number
Or how
1.
about just unzipping the
And let them
suitcase when
out.
someo's begging for their life?
And show him the door if you don't like him.
Yeah, it was obviously there were problems. They had a history, these two. It was a toxic relationship. It was also a relationship where I think they both enjoyed to be under the influence.
I don't see anybody voluntarily getting into a suitcase.
How does he get in? Is that a big issue?
Yes, because that's the thing. I don't see her.
I don't know how this shit happened, bro. I could never see a chick convincing me to like get into a suitcase. What? How many drinks I've had, bruh?
Wrestling an adult male into a suitcase.
What if it's a goof? Like, hey, let's see if I can fit in there.
That's the much better question. Or what if it's something that we're doing for some other reason? Or if there's something, there's an explanation.
How important is it for the
burned.
jury to understand how the circumstances under which he got in the suitcase?
It's just a piece. It's just
It's
a
one
piece.
piece. So is intent. I mean, I know the word intent gets used in 100 different ways, but did she intend for him to die? You know, I understand this transfer intent. She could have her not letting him out equals intent. But, you know, there's intent.
Well, her
and there's
taunting
intent.
him.
There's intent with 13 stab wounds to your mother, and then there's intent by playing a joke and saying, he's saying he can't breathe.
There's intent calling the husband first and not calling, or the ex-husband, excuse me, and not calling 911. There's a lot of smelliness to this case.
Is there any mitigation that she was under the influence? Does that help her at all?
Like I said, good luck. I don't think there's
Depends on
anything
who's on the
here.
jury.
Yeah,
right? You people on the
voluntary
jury?
intoxication is not traditionally a very good defense.
Not legally, but you have people on the jury that are going to say, you know, I could see maybe.
Yeah, I've been there before. Yeah.
Being in that position, right? Somebody on that jury has done some stupid stuff.
This one rises up to pretty stupid.
Yeah, and that's where the vagarity is you never know which juror is going to connect with some part of that case and go, man, y'all ain't got.
Yeah, I don't think she has much of a chance. Yo, we've been wanting to see the trial forever, man. And it's just been getting pushed back and pushed back and pushed back. We need another good trial. We're overdue. I mean, I think this year I've done the most trials I've done so far, I think. We need a good trial. I mean, the ones I think of is the Murdoch, which is pretty tough and strenuous. Dragged out, but it was still an experience. Letitia Stout, that was an emotional roller coaster. What else did we do this year? There was another. We did Taylor's for Business. That trial was, yeah, all right. We're definitely overdue for another one. I'm gonna have to look up some upcoming trials to see what we can get into. So, Black Hawk circling. Yeah, I gotta figure out this little thing. This guy told me to pull up the area and just slide over. Jump to airport. PHL. Okay, let's see. New York. It's so hard to see. Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out for stream. Jump to PH. Oh, there. I see it. Okay, yeah. And then he said, find an airport and then scroll west. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna figure this out, and then so later on, if we jump on, I will. There we go. I found the area already. Good. There it is. I want to see one. Okay, there's this one. There's one helicopter right now flying over Creek Road. All right, good. I need to save this email. Frank. Okay. Yeah, they have this one helicopter going along the river. All right. Yeah, so I think that's it. I think for now we'll chill. I'll get a couple things done. Get Maddie's homework done together, and then let's see what tonight brings. We're overdue for a chase. We haven't had a chase in a while. A chase would be nice. Some update with this story. We'll see. I'll be looking for some news stories as well. I think I'm gonna start posting a little bit more to Facebook. I mean, I'm not gonna do anything to take away from YouTube, but just little short stories, little short segments. I think I'm gonna start posting a little bit extra stuff on there too. So if you follow me on Facebook, just keep in mind on that. Keep an eye for that. So, all right, that's it, man. Thank you guys so much. I will catch you later. Take care. Bye. Bloop, 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 bloop. Peace.